What's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's Emilio from the Epoch Collective. So I just got a question for you guys. When was the last time you just let somebody talk and you just listened? I'll tell you right now, for me, it's becoming more of an everyday thing. It's extremely important for you to just listen to people. I don't think we're doing that enough in any sort of political situation or relationship situation, whether that be people who are married or people who are just friends. I'm coming to learn that when you take the time to put your phone away, listen to somebody, dissect what they're saying, and then respond to what they're saying, you get a lot more enjoyment and you have a greater conversation. The fact of the matter is that a lot of the times, especially when we're having arguments, we're always looking for confirmation bias. Now what that is that's basically when you're only looking for things that appeal to you or that confirm your biases, as, you know, confirmation bias. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're not really taking the time to look at other people's opinions or look at the other side of situations, especially, like I said, when we're in an argument. And when we're not in an argument, we have a tendency to be looking at our phones, looking elsewhere, not really looking at the person who we're talking to. What we're really doing is we're just trying to ignore them, especially if there's somebody who's just talking a lot. But what I found to be extremely helpful recently here at college is, like I said, put your phone, put it in your pocket, put it wherever you want, nowhere near the table, and just make eye contact with the person who's actually talking to you. Don't necessarily interrupt them, but just agree with them if you agree with something. Letting the person know visually through your nonverbal cues that you're engaged with them will not only make them feel better, but will make you look better as a listener. I know it seems like a kind of cliche thing to talk about, but it's really important, and I'm seeing a lot of people not doing good active listening skills. Now, by actively listening and doing all these non-visual cues to let people know that you're engaged with them, you'll be able to actually hear what they're saying, you'll be actually to understand what they're saying, you'll remember it more, and you'll be able to evaluate and respond in a manner where, once again, since you've already remembered what they said, you can bring up their points and connect them to whatever point you have. Of course, one of the most important parts here is understanding. Now, understanding can be extremely difficult, especially if you, well, frankly, if you don't understand what somebody said. What I would suggest for you is let the person finish their complete thought, don't interrupt them, and then when you need to ask a clarifying question, make sure you do ask that question so you fully do understand what they're saying. Of course, you want to ask questions in a manner of which it's not going to be derogatory or negative, but just ask it in a, hey, I didn't understand when you said X, Y, and Z, could you further explain it? Now, a lot of us, especially for our viewers there who are around our age, in the Epoch Collective, which is around 20, for the most part, we do this thing called pleasurable listening, which is exactly what it sounds like. Listening to please us, whether that be socializing with our friends or with a professor. And this can include things from like movies and television and music. And even then, we can still do these things, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just a face-to-face conversation. It can be with music too. You can evaluate and understand lyrics from a song that you really like and be able to maybe explain it to somebody else. Another type of listening that occurs a lot with us is empathetic listening. And this is when somebody just needs you to be there. You don't necessarily have to say anything. You give them the visual cues. You give them eye contact. You make sure that you look like you're engaged with them and that you care. I've already touched on it a little bit, but a couple of ways that you can improve your listening is, like I said, paying attention, put away your phone, listening for main ideas or points or things that will resonate with you when you're trying to relay information back to that person. Another thing that I want to emphasize here is that even if you are a good listener, it doesn't necessarily mean you're great at paying attention. There's been probably a bunch of studies shown that there is no strong correlation between the two. You can be great at one and be terrible at the other. In one of the books that I'm reading for one of my classes, it stated that if you think you're a relatively good speaker, chances are actually you're not a really good listener. And in fact, you're probably going to have to improve your listening skills. It's just extremely important to listen to people, even when you're not saying anything, even when it doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's just good. People like the satisfaction that you're engaging with them, that you're listening to them, and that you're understanding what they're saying. And if you find something useful in this video, I would strongly encourage you to try it in your day-to-day life, whether that be with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your college professor, one of your best friends. Just try to be more actively listening to people and understanding what they're saying. So that's just my kind of thought. That's something that I've been thinking about, and I really just wanted to share it with all of you guys, and hopefully you guys got something out of it. If you guys like this video and you like what we're doing here at the Epoch Collective, please make sure to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video. And until then, guys, stay epic.